The reason for that is that there are no witnesses, and that is a normal condition for bail. That's the first issue. Second issue is that we, as can be seen from the witness statements of one of my co-accused, there is a conspiracy. The decision to move Dramat out of office was taken long before Dramat was even issued with the notice to suspend. People knew who was going to be appointed in his place before that. We have other people involved in it. The fact that Mr. Kuba was contacted by the minister himself is an indication of interference in IPID's processes, which should be independent. So we are quite clear that this is a ruse. The fact that it's conducted, that the investigation is conducted by a unit called Crimes Against the State, is just to add gravitas and seriousness to a non-offense. In essence, what we are accused of is an investigative opinion that has been changed by the investigator because of new, additional and contradictory evidence to what was first stated. Now, if the investigator failed to take that new, contradictory and additional evidence into account, then there would have been a problem. The document which I signed, the one document which was the investigation as recommended by Mr. Kuba, I stand by it and I endorse it. And it's the first time in the history of the country that investigators, whether in SAPS or IPID, get charged for their opinion on a recommendation about a case. So it's quite groundbreaking in a way. The fact that a number of attempts were made, at least 4, to Mr. Kuba to falsely implicate myself and Mr. Sissoko is an indication of the level to which members of the Gestapo wing of the Hawks can stoop. We have it in recording, we have it transcribed, the names and voices are quite clear. So it gives you an indication of how much trouble we are in the policing and related sectors. The fact that in the approach to Mr. Kuba to falsely implicate us, mention is made that they also have, that is the Hawks now, have contacts in the NPA which will make things go their way, is very frightening. And it looks as if we are on a slippery slope. But we want to go to court, and we want to go to court as quickly as possible because we are dying to see what the evidence is. We are dying to see the witnesses which we now know don't exist. So I'll hand over to any of my colleagues if they want to add anything, and I'll take questions also. Mr. Sissoko.
Can you please tell us who are these persons, who is behind the third, who is the third force, who is the persons driving this prosecution, and why?
Well, I think they will have to explain. What we know is that the case was opened during May last year. A number of other people who have been targeted at present, their cases were opened in May last year also. The reason why it takes until now, over 10 months before the case can be brought to court, is an indication of something untoward. The timing is, I think, quite foolish. I don't know what is the intention. I think it's, as I've said earlier, it's dangerous. It might be a harebrained scheme, but it's quite dangerous.
Can you confirm the involvement of Richard Mdluli in this plot to oust Anwar Dramat from the head of the Hawks?
According to the affidavit that I've seen, there's clearly a strong indication of some involvement of Richard Mdluli and the target being Anwar Dramat. And the decision to target Anwar Dramat began long before Robert McBride became the executive director of IPID.
Can we ask Mr. Kuba about that? Which, I mean, he's the person who knows firsthand.
I'm not sure if he's willing to speak. It's up to him. You can refer some questions to Mr. Sissoko.
Mr. McBride, we know that the same unit of the Hawks is now involved in an apparent investigation against the SARS rogue unit. and Pravin Gordhan has been forwarded questions from this unit. Given what you've experienced, what do you believe Pravin Gordhan's approach should be in this matter? Do you believe he is a target of the same unit of the Hawks?
Well, I think I would be talking out of what is my purview if I go into that area. But I think based on the fact that we have been charged for doing our work, I would just suggest that the Minister of Finance be very careful how he handles issues with them.
Throughout the process, you've looked pretty relaxed, you're engaging with the media.
Yeah.
Where is this coming from? Are you just sure of that you've got enough evidence to sort of prove your innocence in this matter?
Well, the way the South African legal system works, I don't have to prove anything. Those who accuse must prove. And even what they are accusing us of is of doing our work. So I am quite confident that the work that we did was correct, was proper, and was not illegal. And in fact, it's the work that's done similar to what police detectives do every day. They change their minds based on different evidence. Evidence here is basically to the effect that someone saw someone in a particular spot, and they saw a person in 2 other spots. But if you check that person's phone records, the person was nowhere near any of the 3 spots. That has to make you think something is wrong, and you have to start questioning the statements of those people who made the original statement.
Are you saying if you had not cleared Dramat, you would not be here?
Well, we didn't clear Dramat, and it's not our job to do so. The issue is the courts to decide on that, and in our case, it is the NPA which decides to prosecute or not. We make recommendations and we submit the docket.
But then your recommendations did apply.
On the basis of the evidence before us, we had insufficient evidence to sustain a prosecution against Dramat and Sebia and Toka and Libya. So it's not only Dramat and Sebia in which we recommended no prosecutions. There are 2 other generals, General Libya and a general from crime intelligence called General Toka.
But had you recommended otherwise, you don't think this would have happened?
Well, I couldn't have recommended otherwise. There's only one possible way based on the evidence before us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Boss, you can?
Nice and strong.
Very nice.